In today's video, we're tracking down a house-eating fungus. Guys, a lot of you are here because of our rat videos, and if you were to ask me, hey Jim, would you rather have rats in your house or this fungus? And I would say, hands down, rats. So some facts about this fungus, guys. It grows an inch every 24 hours, and what it does is it attaches itself to the wood framing, inside wall and ceiling cavities. Once it attaches itself, it sucks the nutrients out of the wood, leaving that wood structural integrity completely compromised. You'll start seeing some signs as well. It almost looks like a mustardy material. It'll come out of base molding, window seals, and there's a root. Just like a rat, they have a rat's nest. We go in, find the rat's nest and the entry points. This particular fungus has a specific root ball that it branches from called the rhizomorphs. So finding that root ball is the key component to disrupting and stopping the growth of this very aggressive fungus. So let's go check out the damage and see what we need to do to get this thing resolved once and for all. So oftentimes, guys, the root ball is in a planter bed, and a lot of times what happens is sprinkler systems like this, they go up against the house, they soak the wood substrate, and the fungus is somewhere below ground level, and it creates these rhizomorphs, these branch lines. And once it gets inside the house, it attaches itself, and then it strips all of the nutrients out of the wood, creating that dry rotted effect. So all of this is going to have to be completely dug out so we can begin to detect and investigate where that root ball is. All right, I'm going to go underneath, do some investigation from underneath the crawl space where that impacted area is. See what the how far it's spread, because Paria loves crawl spaces just because of all of the wood substrate. So it sort of originates there and then works its way up inside those wall cavities. All right, let's go. Oh, look at this, guys. Rat droppings. Looks like he's had a rat issue. A lot of them. Some nesting materials there from the rat. Rats all over this house. Rats chewed up plastic here. Look at that. Poria and rats. It's getting tight, guys. All these pipes right here in the center bay. Tons of rat poop. Okay, now we're heading down underneath that impacted area, which is right over there. Look at the trail, guys. Talk about a rat runway. Okay, we're going from here. Look at that. Following their highway here. Ooh. Check this out, guys. Here's the mushrooms. See how it attaches itself to the wood? Funny how we talked about rats in the very beginning. This guy has both, unfortunately. But apparently the rat and the rodent issue has been completely resolved, so he's now dealing with Paria. So he actually has had both. Man, I would have loved to set up a crawl space camera in here. There was a lot of rodent activity in the past. Huge amount. Yeah, so he's catching it just at a perfect time. Hasn't migrated beyond what we see inside that living room area, so we'll definitely have to do some further investigation. And boy, did he have a lot of rat issues in the past. You could tell they're old droppings, but he had a lot of activity under there. So when you're dealing with a fungus, guys, it's imperative to do the proper investigation. And what you can see here, anytime we see a huge trunk like this, tree trunk, you can see where the white rhizomorphs are. That's an indication that it could be originating from this tree and then branching out towards the house, which is, you can see the glass over there. Okay, so we're gonna build a massive containment in preparation for demolition. All right, guys, so I'm gonna head to another job. The guys know what to do. They're gonna build that huge critical barrier. We're gonna start demoing that floor, so I'll be back later on to check on the team, but we got a big day ahead of us. All right, guys, we're heading back up. It's the second day. The guys have removed all of the hardwood floor, a lot of it. We still have some demolition to do, but they've got the wall fully exposed. We're gonna check out how aggressive this fungi is. We're also gonna do some water tests to determine how that water, if there's water coming in from those windows. I think there is possibly a great chance just from a visible inspection. We've been dealing with this fungi for many years now, and we've developed a really good system of detection and leak detection. And so a lot of customers seek out to David and I to resolve this once and for all, because a lot of restoration companies treat this particular fungus as a mold situation, and it's far from a mold mitigation job. Yes, there's a little bit of elements of dry down and things of that sort, but that is if you have this type of fungus, you can't reach out to a regular restoration company. So it's really important that you hire the right people if in fact you're impacted by this fungus. Check out this video here we did, if you haven't seen it, where it completely devastated this bathroom in the beach areas. Check that out right here.
All right, folks, so here we are. We've demoed quite a bit. As you can see here, I'm inside the shower stall. This wood is completely rotted out. What I've done is I've taken the shower pan out because we've noticed some of the fungi growing through the shower pan. Once we removed this, I went ahead and took my flashlight. You're gonna see where possibly all of this poria started here. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that root looks like as it's coming through the ground into the structure. All right, so here I am. We're gonna go ahead and take a look here, and you'll see right there, and you can see it going into the wood there. So we're gonna go ahead and dig further, but this looks and appears to be the start of where this is growing in at. See it right there in that wood.
Yeah, look at that. And check out this other one that David solved in a back guest house. Massive, massive destruction. Check this out.
All right, folks. You could see that the poria has grown. We found the rhizomorph right here. And it's actually growing through this wood structure with water coming through the footing and then growing up inside this wall here. I mean, it's just eats it up. So folks, it's very, very, very important to do a home inspection. Check your wood, check your footings, because look at the destruction that poria and chrysota can do to your home.
So as you can see there, this is a very aggressive wood decaying fungus that has to be stopped. And the only way to stop it is to understand where their branch lines are, their rhizomorphs, a lot of heat drying. There's a special strategic way to approach this wood decaying fungus. Okay, as you can see, we removed a lot of the hardwood floor that was impacted. Here's what the fungus looks like. And what we're doing now is we're digging here, but let me show you inside what's going on. Here's our big containment, air scrubber. All right, I'll show you what's happening here. We're gonna go ahead and perform a quick water test to show you what's happening here with this window. Look at the amount of water. So what was happening, guys, that's why it's important with sprinklers not coming up against the house like this, because over time it creates this water damage effect as well, and it's prone to fungi growth. See our water test. Look at how it just crumbles the wood. Look at that. Completely disintegrates. Look at that. It's like powder. See how it attaches itself here? And what it's doing is it's sucking the nutrients out of the wood. very, very aggressive fungus. That's why it's important to create a critical barrier like this and have the proper dry down equipment, because the faster we can stop the growth from further migration, it's the only way to protect the house. The team reported that they found the golden nugget, and exactly where earlier where Dalton found that tree source, that's the ticket right there. Check it out. So first of all, you could see the amount of bags of soil, contaminated soil, that we're removing off this premises.
Check it out, Jim.
Oh wow.
See it all growing on here?
No quick movements.
And then it's growing under that cement.
So exactly what you talked about the other day on that big tree, that's where it's originating from.
Yeah, so it grew through this root and it's up under the vent, under the concrete. So up under here, right under the vent. Way up under there.
So this is kind of what it looks like, you guys. Holds a lot of water content.
It's yellowish white and it's very soft, different than a tree root. It just peels apart. You can smash it with your fingers. See, a tree root would be flexible and bendable, and you can see the fibers of the wood. So this is completely different. It's just soft and mushy.
So with that moisture, you guys, once it attaches itself to the wood substrate of a home, it literally just sucks the nutrients, carries that moisture, and continues to move throughout the building. So this client got very, very lucky where it was just sort of localized and it didn't spread to other places that we've seen in other projects. So, but this is what it takes here. See the soil here, it's really wet. So what we're gonna do now is allow this trench here and let the sun and the elements dry this soil, because what that will do is it'll strip the nutrients out of any root system that's in the ground here. All right, you can see how Victor has really done a great job by cleaning up all of the contaminated wood. And then look at this, guys. We opened up this here to do some investigation. Let me show you what we found. The amount of destruction that this does is unbelievable. All right, guys, I'm back. It's the third day now. Supposedly all of the rock, that stone that's on the outside, is completely removed. We're digging further towards that massive tree. Let's go check it out. And here's what it looks like now, guys. This is what this Perea fungus does. It's all, took out all the framing. This is why it's really important to get all of the materials completely removed. Otherwise, the framing is hiding this here. It continues to grow, especially if it gets moisture content. So we're going back with pressure treated wood here. Hey guys, so after seeing all of this, put in the comments, would you rather have rat infestation or this fungus after seeing all of the damage here? Interested to hear. This is why it's really important to have a critical barrier, because it allows the reconstruction, all the cutting, and it really protects the home really, really well. So that was a big, big containment for sure. So if you own a home, guys, it's always best to keep water away from your house. Go with a smaller drip system, but we see so often where sprinklers are just spraying day in, day out, and it causes massive destruction to a home. All right, guys, so Perea incrusata, it can attack a lot of lumber and several species of trees. It's known to develop on southern pine, ponderosa pine, the eastern white pine, Australian pine, Virginia pine, Douglas fir, western red cedar, redwood cypress, and so on and so forth. So if you live in a neighborhood with a lot of trees like this, you may want to consider really inspecting around your house. Hey Dalton, a quick question for you. You've done a lot of these Perea jobs for us. Can you tell the audience like one of the biggest factors that you see that activates a Perea?
One of the biggest factors I see are humidity issues, water against homes. Like, so let's say the siding dips down into the soil or the stucco line is below the
ground level?
Yes.
Yep, I've seen that too.
So any water entry into the house can create that issue. That gives the Perea somewhere to go, then it latches onto the framing, now it's got a water source, and then it eats up the whole entire entire house. But humidity is also a big factor. So if you live in an area with high humidity, you should have your home checked periodically, especially the crawl space for Paria, because it can grow on that framing.
Yep, and guys, perfect point. That's why a lot of the coastal areas have Paria, just because of the dew point outside really activates it. Last question for you, Dalton. You've also done a lot of our rat jobs. Would you rather have rats in your house or Paria?
I'd rather have rats, because the Paria causes extensive damage and it's very quick. It'll eat up your house in no time at all, and you won't even know that it's happening.
Well, just like Trent's here, right? Look at
Yes,
this.
exactly.
Yep,
perfect example.
All right, so Brandon is getting all of the soil, all the remaining roots away from the foundation in preparation for waterproofing and doing the Paria defense system, so this doesn't come back. We have our own proprietary way of going in here, creating a Paria defense system. Also too, Dalton, a lot of times we show up on jobs, clients will get a mold remediation company, and a lot of times the mold remediation company doesn't know anything about Paria, but they conflict with the two, right?
Absolutely.
Antimicrobials, all of that doesn't work on Paria.
No, it's a totally, you have to get rid of all of the materials that the Paria has touched, all the wooden materials.
Right.
Concrete and cement's okay. It'll grow up the side of that to get to the wood, but it won't eat away at the concrete because it's not a food source.
Right.
Mold remediation and Paria are completely different animals.
And so this big tree right here, Dalton, was obviously the originator.
Yes,
right?
we went around the back side of that tree, and on the other side of that tree there's a little hillside, but it's covered by all these bushes here. You couldn't see it, but I took a flashlight
That was a good eye.
and I found a area where the Paria is growing on the tree, so we knew that was the issue, and also that Paria grows on pine trees.
Yep.
And that's where it's originating from most of the time.
Yep. That's a big tree. So here's the tree, guys. This is what we're talking about. You can see it growing. Right here, see the white? Also installing some crawl space fans, just as extra preventative measure. Well guys, hopefully this video gave you some insight on this destructive fungi called Paria. Please leave your comments down below, hit that subscribe button, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.